Hi, I'm Mr. Leali, your Literacy Equity Ambassador. In School District 308, we celebrate stories that help us get to know ourselves and others better. Here are some awesome books we recommend you check out this school year. We want to know, what's your story? Our first must-read book is The Last CUENTISTA by Donna, Barba, Higuera. This award-winning novel is about Petra Peña, a girl from the distant future who is on a mission to preserve the human race after Earth is destroyed by a comet. She alone remembers the history of humanity. It's up to Petra to save stories of the past before the sinister collective erases them forever on their new planet home. If you love science fiction and space adventures, you'll be sure to love this fantastic story. Our second title is The Moon Within by Aida Salazar. If you've never read a novel in verse, which means the story is written like poetry, you should check out this extraordinary story about Cece Rivera. As Cece grapples with her changing body and her first crush, she finds her voice and learns to stand up for herself. This beautiful celebration of Mexican culture and womanhood is not to be missed. If you're looking for historical fiction, don't look any further than our third pick, The Inquisitor's Tale by Adam Gidwitz. Set in 1242, this story follows three unlikely companions: a Catholic monk in training, a Jewish boy whose home was destroyed, and a peasant girl who can see the future. Oh, and their resurrected dog who might have superpowers. This book is a brilliant story about friendship and overcoming the impossible. And it's funny. I absolutely loved it. Our fourth book is one of my favorites, Sweep by Jonathan Auxier. In Victorian London, Nan Sparrow, a chimney sweep, nearly dies in a horrible chimney fire. To her surprise, she finds herself waking in an attic with a monster called a golem. Together, Nan and her monster must face the world one challenge at a time. You will be completely swept up in this charming story about friendship. Next up is another award-winning novel in verse, Rajani LaRocca's Red, White, and Whole. This story is about Rhea, a 13-year-old girl living in 1983. She is torn between her Indian identity and embracing American culture. Attending a middle school dance comes between her and her mother, and when her mom gets sick, Rhea finds she has more to juggle than she might be able to manage. This is a fantastic book about figuring out who you are and who you want to be. Here's another historical fiction novel, this time set in 1947 India. The Night Diary by Veera Hiranandani is about 12-year-old Nisha, who is half Muslim and half Hindu. When India is partitioned into two countries, Pakistan and India, Nisha and her family become refugees who have to trek by foot to find safety and a new home. This is a powerful story told through letters that Nisha writes to her mother. I couldn't put this one down. Our next book is Maulik Pancholy's The Best at It, an award-winning novel about 7th grader Rahul Kapoor. Starting middle school can be tough. When Rahul is challenged to become the best at something by his grandpa, he takes the challenge to heart. The only problem? He might not be good at anything. Find out if Rahul can meet his goal in this hilarious, heartwarming story. Now, if you love graphic novels, DEAFO by Cece Bell is the perfect book for you. This autobiographical story follows Cece as she starts at a new school where she is the only deaf student in her class. She's self-conscious about her hearing aid, but it's also kind of awesome. Wherever she is, she can hear her teacher talking, even when they're not in the same room. Her disability starts to become her superpower. You'll fly through this empowering story about friendship, community, and loving yourself. Now, I adore Drum Roll Please by Lisa Jenn Bigelow. This upbeat drum-pounding novel is about Melly, a percussionist headed to Camp Rockaway with her best friend Olivia. When Melly and Olivia get to camp, Melly meets Adeline, this super cool girl with a raspy voice and a rockin' guitar. Adeline throws a wrench into Melly's friendship with Olivia, but Melly is wondering if she has more than just friendship feelings for Adeline. Don't miss finding out what happens between Adeline, Melly, and Olivia. Our next book, King and the Dragonflies by Cacen Callendar, is a powerhouse novel about grief, identity, and friendship. 12-year-old Kingston James mourns the loss of his older brother, and he thinks he might have turned into a dragonfly when he passed away. While King is trying to figure out what really happened to his brother, he's also discovering more about himself. He might be gay. This stunning story is excellent and profound, a must for readers who like hard-hitting stories. Here we are with our second to last story, Sisters of the NEVERSEA by Cynthia Leitich Smith, which is a modern retelling of Peter Pan that turns the tale you know on its head. Instead of Peter being the main character, we follow stepsisters English-born Wendy and Lily, who is Muskogee Creek. Right from the first page, this book is full of magic, fairies, pirates, and tons of unexpected twists and turns. This book is a celebration of sisterhood, friendship, and wonder. I loved it. Here we go, our last book. Inspired by Navajo culture and traditions, Brian Young's Healer of the Water Monster is a fantastic fantasy about Nathan, who goes to visit his grandmother who lives on a Navajo reservation. When Nathan gets lost in the desert one night, he encounters a water monster, a holy being from the Navajo creation story. The water monster is in serious danger, and only Nathan can save the day. Thanks for listening. I hope this helps you find your next great read.